I just watched a Christmas movie in February. Thanks to streaming windows. Weird timing. This is because right when we're gearing up for Valentine's Day, this is the absolute perfect time to drop Journey to Bethlehem on Netflix. I know it's not a Netflix original. I know this is licensed content, but still, there was a distributor for Journey to Bethlehem, and they made this choice all of their own volition to get it out there in February. You know what? I gotta say, I'd have moved it a little closer to Easter. There's gonna be two times when people are maybe really actually thinking about this subject matter. I'm not sure that Super Bowl weekend, days before Valentine's Day, is necessarily like the hottest drop for Journey to Bethlehem, the musical. Um, but it's on Netflix and it has audio description. Look at that. So I'd like a little round of applause. I'm actually going to applaud in my video. Thank you so much. This is real applause. I'm applauding in my own video. Why am I applauding, you ask? Well, because faith-based cinema has not been nice to blind people this past year. I don't know which label this comes from. It has to be a faith-based label. No one would make this otherwise. Sound of Freedom had audio description theatrically. Amazon could give zero fucks as to whether or not it has audio description for its home video release. It also doesn't even have it on like Apple. Like it's like if you didn't see it in theaters as a blind person, you're fucked. And you know, trying to get Angel Studios to do anything about it is just like, we already got our money. We've made an insane amount of money. It's a busy time in Angel Studios. We can't really with the Chosen is taking up, hire more people. Like, hire somebody in charge of accessibility. And then also last year Netflix did drop Jesus Revolution without audio description. So two sort of major faith-based titles, zero audio description when they dropped onto streaming platforms. So Journey to Bethlehem, just wow, actually pretty good audio description. Not like amazing, not just like over the top. I'm not gonna put it in like the top 10 audio descriptions of the year, but I thought it was solid, enjoyable. This film is very weird. This is a very, very weird film. And I mean that with all sincerity. Total sincerity. I was just like, what am I watching? What is going on in this film? Yeah, it is, talk about really trying to play to the widest audience possible. This is like a pop musical version of Mary and Joseph heading to have the birth of Jesus. It's that story. It's but they all talk like they all talk like they're on one of those teen shows that the CW used to play before they just decided to, you know, die as a network and just only release licensed content. And not just like, we'll finish out a couple shows, but we're not making any new none of those teen shows anymore on our network. Yeah, it feels so weird. There's no attempt at a speech pattern here that is anything of the period. I honestly, the main girl, don't know who she is as an actress. She sounded so much like Haley Steinfeld that I, I just pictured Haley Steinfeld in this role, and I was like, this is oddly hilarious to me to picture her walking around as Mary. Antonio Banderas is in this. I'm not really sure why. He's way beyond in terms of the name. I recognize Lecrae. I think he's like a gospel singer. I did recognize his name in the cast, but no, Antonio Banderas is still, even if you're telling me Lecrae is the most recognized gospel artist in the world, I would still say Antonio Banderas is a bigger name than Lecrae. Probably is the reason why a lot of people are watching this. They probably paid Antonio quite a bit of money to do this, to play King Herod. And Milo Manheim, who actually I became a little bit of a fan of, I recognize his name. He's in School Spirits. I thought he did a really good job this past season in School Spirits. So I'm looking forward to a second season with him and seeing more of him. He plays Joseph here. So not Haley Steinfeld. We've got Milo Manheim and Antonio Banderas, and then Lecrae is in this also. I recognize that name. I don't really know why I know it. I don't really care that much. The music in this all sounded like it was the same song. There was one time literally where it was, don't ask me. This music is incredibly forgettable. But there was one time where Joseph sang a song where he was like fighting himself, and then like it was followed by Antonio Banderas doing a song, and it sounded like the same song, but it wasn't the same song. But it just had the same uninspired pop overproduced beat to it. Like everything in here, everybody sounds like they're in a recording studio. It takes you out of the film so much because the songs were so heavily produced. They sound like they're using auto-tune and all sorts of these like little like pop tricks to make them sound like they're little like robotic aliens, you know, like we do with our pop music nowadays, why it's all dying and soulless and everybody sounds exactly the same because you can just run somebody's voice through your sound through your system and just, you know, just keep adding crap to their voice until everybody sounds exactly like the same singer and the same artist. It has, yeah, I don't know why. Just hire people that can sing. You know, if this Lecrae dude is who I think he is and is a gospel singer, why is he being produced at all? Like, why would he ever need anyone? If I was somebody like Lecrae, if I was known for being a gospel singer and somebody tried to put anything on my voice, I would slap them in the face. I would be like, do you know who I am? You know? I mean, like, come on now. Like, don't do that. Could you, like, I imagine there are people out there who are fantastic singers who when sound engineers go, wouldn't it be cool if we did that? No, it wouldn't be. Because I can sing. Because I can hit the pitch. I don't need you to pitch correct me because I know I can hit the pitch. Anyway, yeah, it just, it's, I don't know who this is for. It's everyone, I think. But by going for everyone, it kind of, I think it's going for like a really youthful contemporary Christian audience that would like this. I think it's going to turn off older people because it's so pop oriented and so in your face that it's very bizarre. Is it bad? No, actually it's not. I actually kind of enjoyed this, and I think that's kind of the point why they did it this way. You know, we have our somber, sort of super serious Bible story movies, and they're all just kind of, oh my God, I'm doing this wrong. Oh my, you know, it's just everything is just so dark. It's so realistic, and everybody speaks, and there was something to be said for this. This was entertaining, at least. Not in, I wouldn't say it's a great film, but I had more fun with this than I would have if this had been, you know, just taken like super seriously, like, I don't know, the Nativity story, or I'm trying to think of old Christian movie, Passion of the Christ. Listen, I saw that film once. I don't need to see that film again. It wasn't a bad film. I'm not shitting on Passion of the Christ. It was an incredibly moving experience. First time I saw it, Jim Caviezel did a hell of a job in that film. I only need to see that film once though. I don't need to sit through that film over and over and over again. It's not, that's weird. It's weird to watch that happen to somebody over and over and to be like, yes, I'm enjoying this. Like, it's just not an enjoyable. This is the kind of thing you could watch over and over again. I could see like an 8-year-old kid get really into this film and just be playing it in the background and just being like dancing to the same pop song throughout the entire film, because that's basically what it is. This one song just keeps getting played throughout the same, and they just change up the lyrics and they change up the song a little bit, but every single song sounds exactly the same. They're so overproduced that it's hard to distinguish the difference between any of them. Thank God when they come in with the actual Christmas carols and you can actually sort of hear that they had to break in terms of melody to get, you know, like Silent Night in there, because Silent Night can't sound like it's like I mean, like, there's nothing, you can't do anything with Silent Night, Silent Night, Silent Night, Silent Night, Silent Night. It's just, there's nothing you can do with that. It's just, people are expecting something like that, something close to that. But these original songs that they wrote for this musical are just the three kings offered Jesus more useful things than we were offered music from this movie. You know, like a baby and frankincense and myrrh. I love that they keep, there's a lot of myrrh jokes in this, by the way. Like, it seems like they're, it seems like they know that nobody knows what myrrh is, so they actually kind of bring it up in some nice sort of like, let's make a joke out of it way. What did you bring? I brought myrrh. It's just like, anyway, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I kind of just saw this. I didn't see it go to theaters or have any sort of box office. I don't know what happened with it. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it was like a Fathom event. It's on Netflix now. It's actually not the worst thing you could see this year. I said the same thing about Jesus Revolution, even though it didn't have audio description. I couldn't rate it at the end of the day. I had to give that film an unwatchable grade. I did, while I was saying it, say, this is not a bad film. I wish it had audio description, so I could give it a positive grade. Same thing with Sound of Freedom. I didn't think that was awful. Didn't think it was great, but I think we have an ability to make great faith-based cinema. I've seen some that have come really close. I really enjoyed Breakthrough a couple years back with Chrissy Metz, Topher Grace, the boy that falls through the ice and everybody's praying for him. I thought that was a decent movie. Jim Caviezel's in a movie called When the Game Stands Tall. It's got a lot of faith-based themes running through it. I thought that was a really solid movie. So it's totally possible here. Honestly, if the music was better written, I would care more. If the music sounded different and wasn't overproduced, I think I would grade this a little bit higher than I'm grading it. I think that's probably my number one complaint, is every time they sang, it sounded like the same song, and these singers are way overproduced. Either cast somebody who can sing or punch your sound engineer in the face and knock them unconscious so that they can't touch the music, because this is obnoxious. It's way overproduced, way overdone. Just sounds terrible. You know, we have actual musicals this year. Listen to the music from The Color Purple versus this, and you'll hear people who can actually sing versus people where you're like, I don't know. And the funny thing is, Antonio Banderas, he has stuff where he's sung before. I don't know why they overproduced him. He can hold a tune. I don't know about the rest of the cast. I assume Lecrae can. But yeah, I don't know what's going on here with the music, but it's just, if you're trying to play to a young audience by making their music sound like ass, why don't you just expect more out of them and make your music great, and maybe they'll come anyway. maybe they'll still show up. Yeah, not every artist nowadays uses this amount of production in their music. I'm going to give Journey to Bethlehem a C+. I would consider this a positive score. This would be slightly, this would get a tomato for me. This would get a fresh, barely. But yes, I would give this fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I did have more fun with it than I thought I would. So, but we got to fix the music here. The music is just... Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I love the fact that this movie has audio description. Mad props for that. Like I said, a lot of faith-based cinema this year has really just let us down in that regard, and there definitely are blind Christians. And I think about, like, what is it that they're watching, you know, because there's no audio description to this content. So are they just sitting there like confused? Is there somebody that's like paid to sit next to them and like describe the movie to them? Like, what are we doing? What's the alternative here? It's very weird that this come one, come all, religion zone is letting a lot of their content be inaccessible. It should be the most accessible genre of film, because you should want to send the word out to the widest range of people. So this is what this film does. It is the most accessible film, and it's clearly trying to get to the widest audience possible. And it even has like an apology for doing so at the end, which I thought was hilarious. It was like, yes, we took some liberties with the story, but our intention was always to. And I was like, you don't have to apologize. Just people, like, this is, no, totally unnecessary. This film was fine, but I love that they felt that they needed to at the end of the film. Anyway, website, macmovieguy.com, X Threads, Instagram at macmovieguy, the audio description project, adp.acb.org, will let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it, and the ADNA.org, that's the ADNA.org, will let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.